As the ever-popular Mr. Olympia competition has entered into its 58th year, we want to look back at where things began and who has all won this special title. The rare accomplishment of winning the Mr. Olympia trophy is amplified by the fact that only 16 men have ever done so. In today's video, we talk about all of the Mr. Olympia contestants to be crowned champion since the inaugural year in 1965, and also the evolution of bodybuilding itself. Where it all began. The physical culture of muscle building has attracted followers for many years, well before the advent of competitive bodybuilding as we know it today. Followers of the Iron Game will know that bodybuilding in its popular form began in earnest in the 1890s with the arrival of Mr. Eugene Sandow, whom the Mr. Olympia statue is modeled on. In 1963, Joe Weider had a vision that he felt would take the sport of bodybuilding to a new level. Joe came up with the ultimate contest with the ultimate prize, the Mr. Olympia. Eugene Sandow, the first famous bodybuilder, transformed his music hall performance into a career as a professional strongman. Back in the day, Sandow had what is now termed good genetics for the sport of bodybuilding. Sandow invented equipment such as spring grip dumbbells. It was with Sandow that bodybuilding was actually born. He began demonstrating his strength to audiences as well as posing as a Greek statue to attract attention to himself. In 1898, Sandow was considered the most famous man alive when he started publishing the magazine Physical Culture, which later became Sandow's Magazine of Physical Culture. Sandow showed off his physique on postcards, only wearing a fig leaf to cover up. By the time of his death in 1925, Sandow had made bodybuilding a profitable enterprise. Bodybuilding can be a safe sport, but in today's world, it glamorizes the unhealthy pursuit of an unnaturally obtainable physique. Many of these competitors have to rely on steroids while gambling with its dangerous side effects in their pursuit of a body that aligns with the standards of their competitors. Just because they are winning competitions based on looks and lifts doesn't mean that these bodybuilders are models of perfection. It's likely they're carrying the heavy burden of body image issues by themselves. Let's take a look at the 16 people who successfully won the Mr. Olympia crown. Number 1. Larry Scott, 65 to 66. Larry Scott was an American bodybuilder and the first to be crowned Mr. Olympia champion. Larry would go on to defend his title the very next year, before subsequently retiring. This marked the official start of the Mr. Olympia contest era, in which notable bodybuilders would go on to see great success. Number 2. Sergio Oliva, 1967 to 69. Known as the Myth, Sergio Oliva burst onto the scenes from Cuba to take over the new spot as Mr. Olympia champion with his mind-blowing combination of mass, symmetry, and round muscle bellies in 1967. Sergio was defeating some of the most iconic individuals in bodybuilding, including a young Arnold Schwarzenegger, when the latter made his Olympia debut. Number 3. Arnold Schwarzenegger, 1970 to 1975 and 1980. Considered the greatest and most iconic bodybuilder of all time, Arnold officially took over as the new Mr. Olympia champion in 1970. The Austrian Oak went on to win an outstanding 7 titles during his glorified bodybuilding career. Number 4. Franco Colombo, 1976-1981. As best friend and longtime training partner of Arnold Schwarzenegger, Colombo defeated a heavily competitive class in both 1976 and 1981 to solidify his tremendous bodybuilding career. Colombo, originally hailing from Sardinia, was well known to have one of the most impressive chest and back, paired with an incredible amount of physical strength. Number 5. Frank Zane, 1977 to 1979. With Frank Zane, the era of symmetry, aesthetics, and conditioning started in bodybuilding. Frank won 3 Olympia titles in a row by looking like a perfect sculpture on stage. The dynamics changed from mass to class, with Zane literally redefining bodybuilding. Number 6. Chris Dickerson, 1982. Chris continued the trend of conditioning, shape, and aesthetics. Powered by an outstanding back, fantastic calves, and elegant posing, Chris, already in his early 40s, finally won the Olympia title on his 4th attempt. Number 7. Samir Banout, 1983. Known as the Lion of Lebanon, Samir hit physical perfection in 1983. He brought an unbeatable combination of muscle fullness, hardness, conditioning, and symmetry on stage. When he posed, every muscle popped. His back development appeared to be from another galaxy, with a Christmas tree no one ever surpassed. Number 8. Lee Haney, 1984 to 1991. Haney simply blew the competition away every year with his never-before-seen combination of size and symmetry. He went on to become an 8-time Mr. Olympia champion. His mass with class package dominated bodybuilding for almost a full decade. Number 9. Dorian Yates, 1992 to 97. With Yates, a new standard of size was set for the Olympia. Dorian would consistently bring an eye-popping amount of muscle mass on stage. At his second Olympia win, he may have presented the single best combo of massive size paired with dry and full muscle conditioning this sport has ever seen. Dorian Yates would go on to win 6 straight Olympia titles before he was forced into retirement due to training injuries. Number 10. Ronnie Coleman, 1998 to 2005. Ronnie Coleman continued the trend of freakish muscle size paired with extreme conditioning. He is well known for his intense training style, as depicted in many small documentaries during his powerhouse journey that led to 8 consecutive Mr. O titles. Number 11. Jay Cutler, 2006, 2007, 2009, 2010. Fellow rival of Ronnie Coleman for many years, Jay Cutler was finally able to defeat Ronnie and end his reign in 2006. Cutler would go on to win 4 Mr. Olympia titles, powered by his immense muscle thickness and freakish leg development. Number 12. Dexter Jackson, 2008. Dexter Jackson snatched the Olympia crown away from Jay Cutler in 2008. The Blade, as he is known, brought back the classic bodybuilding criteria of symmetry, conditioning, beautiful lines coupled with just the right amount of muscle size. Number 13. Phil Heath, 2011 to 2017. Phil Heath was able to take down Jay Cutler during his prime and held the top spot for 7 straight years. Nicknamed the Gift, Heath has extremely full and round muscle bellies supported by great conditioning. His physique really came to life upon flexing, with superior muscle detail and quality popping everywhere. Number 14. Sean Rhoden, 2018. Sean Rhoden was the oldest bodybuilder to have ever won the Mr. Olympia title. At the age of 43, he was able to defeat the defending 7-time Mr. Olympia Phil Heath. Sean brought an almost flawless combination of size and conditioning with beautiful proportions to the Olympia stage that year. Unfortunately, Sean was never able to compete again after his win. In 2021, Sean Rhoden passed away at the age of 46. Number 15. Brandon Curry, 2019. Brandon surprised the bodybuilding world by winning the Mr. Olympia after having competed as a pro for almost a decade. With a solid combination of symmetry, conditioning, and muscle fullness, accentuated by his small waist and narrow hips, he deservedly secured the title in 2019. Number 16. Mamdou Elsbié, 2020 to 2021. Mamdou Elsbié, better known as Big Ramy, is an Egyptian IFBB professional bodybuilder. He is the reigning Mr. Olympia champion. Big Ramy's trademarks are his incredible muscle mass and humongous quads. He finally achieved the needed muscle hardness and conditioning to match his unbelievable size. With this unbeatable combination, Big Ramy dominated the stage and was declared the clear winner. He will defend his title in Las Vegas during the Olympia weekend, December 15 to 18, 2022. That's all for this video, folks. See you another time.